Hello, hello, hello. What's going on? We're back live again with you for probably the third time this week. So we have a return guest, and he has some information for you. We have Cornelius Wilson Brown III. Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's right, man. It's four of us.
Yeah, because the last time I said doctor, but you look like a doctor, so I had to add a doctor on there. You know.
No, you got to go. You got to take some classes for that.
Okay, but sometimes it's natural now. There's a lot of preachers that's around as doctors now.
Yeah.
And they haven't been in no seminary or theology school. Or,
yeah.
And so.
Well, you know, I don't get into all that.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start calling myself Dr. Moore eventually. How about that?
Man, just take the classes and earn it.
I earned it.
Yeah.
I've been a doctor in the streets a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got Cornelius Wilson Brown III back again, and he has some information that he wants to share. And we're going to get inside his head. We're going to get him to tell us a little bit about himself, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to let you start. It's your show.
Yeah, it's my show.
I let Far 6 take over the other day, so you know what I'm saying? So it's your show. I'm going to let you talk. I'm going to drink some water.
Well, first of all, I mean, I think this is a great platform that you're doing. I think it's a great opportunity for people to come in and kind of talk about what they do. And I want to really commend you for helping us help us in bringing on different businesses and things of that nature. So kudos to you. You mentioned my name. At the end of the day, I'm a school teacher. I used to be a school teacher. Now I lecture in colleges on financial markets. And what I discovered while teaching is that the public school curriculum really does not prepare you to understand money in such a way whereby you can compound it and grow it to the point where you go from poverty to being rich to being wealthy and then passing along wealth to your posterity. So that's something that I kind of took on the role of teaching my students, which was outside of the curriculum, outside of the course of study, outside of the things that, you know, I was told to teach. Of course, I covered those, but I took an interest in young men and women who, you know, looked like me, wanted to help them really, really understand that you don't have to be on the corner, that you can make big money legally, you know, in legal ways. And so kind of the way you do that is by getting into the markets. But 54% of all Americans have money in the market, whether it's a TSP, 401k, 403b, things of that nature. But only 14% of all Americans who have money in the market in some indirect way do it themselves. And we call it DIY, do it yourself, meaning that you don't just take your money to the bank and walk away and park it there, but you go to the bank and go through the bank by putting your money into a brokerage account. And from there, then you can access the market just like any institutional trader does, just like any mutual fund, hedge fund manager, anything, anyone else. You can just simply do that yourself. So there's an index of information that has to be taught for you to understand actually how to do that. And so that's what I've been doing, you know, over the years since since coming into this reality myself.
You know, I know that A.G. Gaston said a part of all you earn is yours to keep.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got it backwards.
Mm-hmm.
We keep it all.
Yeah.
No taxes, no savings. We just spend. But the bank, when you put the money in the bank, they use your money and flip their money
quite naturally
and won't give you a loan.
Yeah. Well, the thing about that is you have to create a profile so that you will be loan worthy, because good credit just simply says you pay your bills. You know, it just simply means, hey, listen, I'm trustworthy because I told this person that if they gave me this amount of money that I would pay them back at this amount of rate and by this date. And so when you don't do that over a period of time, multiple times, then the fourth person looks at it and say, hey, listen, I don't think that this will be a good, wise business decision. So I don't think that's personal. I think it goes back to what I'm talking about. It goes back to the education or the lack thereof. Most people I ask and I talk to them, I say, hey, listen, if you lived in Alabama and went to school in Alabama and graduated from Alabama high school, then that means you took economics. You took it one semester in your 12th grade, right? So you take government one half and you take economics one half. And then I ask people just a general question, hey, tell me 5 things you learned from your economics class. And you know, most people can't name 5 things.
I know I can.
Okay, so
I didn't take it.
okay, so what I have essentially done is given you not knowing economics is talent and living in America, a mixed economy like this, capitalistic, some of it socialistic, okay, and you don't really understand money markets, and you don't really understand, that's tantamount to me taking you to a football field and giving you a helmet and giving you shoulder pads and giving you thigh pads and giving you a football and taking you out there and put you on the field in a huddle in a play.
Yep.
And now you have to play. But you don't know how to play football.
You don't know no plays.
No.
Yeah.
But you're playing and you're enthusiastic about playing. And so that's what happens. And so what do you think with that little small example, what do you think is going to happen to that young person who's out there trying to do that?
Well, I mean,
they're going to get hurt.
They're going to get hurt.
Yeah,
eventually, maybe, they'll learn the game. But they're going to get hurt first.
Oh, there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it, you know, and so that's what we're doing. So when we do that, we really don't have an understanding. And so I love what my pastor says, Dr. Thomas Beavers. He says that we ought to have enough money to give, enough money to save, enough money to share, enough money to sow, and then he says we ought to have enough money to grow. Mm-hmm. So that's the part that we're missing. That's why you can work on the same job, at the same machine, or the same cubicle as someone else, and they take amazing vacations, they buy amazing things, and you don't. And you're saying, I know what they make what I make, but here's the difference. Perhaps they may make what you're making, but some of it they're tithing, some of it they're giving, then some of it they're saving, and then they have a brokerage account, and they have someone or themselves who's making compound interest on their money. So although you're working the same job, doing the same thing, they have more options than you have. And then not only that, when you die, you need a GoFundMe, right, so that we can bury you, where they had all their affairs in order and they left a couple of $1 million to their posterity. So you take a couple of generations of that happening, and look who's going to get ahead. You see? So what we have to do, and one of the things, unfortunately, as a teacher, I noticed that one of my main jobs was to motivate students to want to learn. Now, most adults have not read a book, a full book from cover to cover. Where am I going with that? It's not about Dr. Seuss or reading. What I'm saying is that the hunger to learn is not there for most people. So when you start talking about, like I'm going to have my seminar Sunday at Guiding Light. So when you start talking about learning the market, learning how to invest, learning how, because we had to be motivated and taught just to learn, period. Most people don't want to spend the time to learn. Here's what they say: I don't have time to learn that. But if you look at your telephone, it captures all of your screen time. Some of those 17, 18 hours that you were online during the week, if you took just half of that time, right? People sit down and watch a Netflix show 7 or 8 episodes at one time.
Binge watching.
What about that time? You understand what I'm sharing with you? So that's something that individuals have to understand the importance of, that I need to learn. Hosea 4:6 says that we perish for the lack of knowledge. not for the lack of intellect, not for the lack of talent, not for the lack of being gifted, but for the lack of knowledge. So therefore, oftentimes we don't have those options, and so that's kind of what I say. God has called me to do that, and you're a spiritual man, so that's not a strange statement.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I do.
Well, I want to go back to something. How did you like? Okay, how was your upbringing, right? And did you always want to do finance, or have you always been in finance? Did you always know that you wanted? Like, what made you want to get into finance?
And that's a great question. I was a basketball player, and I was pretty good. And so, at a young age, coaches would come to my house and pick me up and take me to play games and things of that nature. So when I got old enough, I started playing AAU.
Okay.
And when I started playing AAU, my coach at the time, his name was Curtis Oden. He's passed away. But at the time, we had some boys on our team who were not from our neighborhood, if you know what I mean. And so the boys from my neighborhood, we didn't have money.
Mm-hmm.
So the other boys from the other neighborhoods, their families had money.
Yeah.
So coach would pick several guys who could play and several guys who could pay.
Mm-hmm.
So when we went on trips, we were able to go on their dime, if you will.
Yeah.
One day after practice, one of the young men needed a ride home, and I was riding with Coach. And we rode over the mountain. And when we got to his house, he started to get out. And I was like, man, why are you getting out, man? He said, this is my house. I said, those are your horses? He said, yeah. I said, that barn? He said, yeah. I said, that track? He said, yeah. I said, all those ATVs? He said, yeah. He said, we got some more in the back. I knew then, because at my house, we had a car on bricks, not a horse. You understand what I'm saying? I'm sharing with you. So my interest was peaked then. There is something we don't know. My mother, she was so sweet. Her name was Rosie Brown. Mm-hmm. She taught at Carver High School for many years, and she loved me. And she was a mathematician, statistician. I mean, man, she was amazing, right, intellectually. Mm-hmm. But she didn't know anything about money, right? So I wasn't taught about this, so I had to see this from somewhere else. And I believe that it's the will of God in my life to use my intellect to help other people. So I just believe that that's why I had that interest in it, because I wasn't the only young man in the car who saw the boy get out and who saw what he had. But that just from that point on, I was like, hey man, I need to know about that. Yeah. And so that's what I did when I was teaching school as well. Made sure that everybody knew, the game.
Man, when you look back over your life and you see some of the things you've done, mentally, spiritually, financially, are you happy with what you've done in your life?
Well,
could you have done it different?
I think we all could have done some things.
That's right.
I think we all could have done some things differently.
Right.
Quite naturally. Yeah. And I think the thing that I would have done differently, more so than anything, is to have been a little bit more patient with myself, nicer to me, and more patient with allowing things to play out without me feeling like I need to insert myself in it. Right. Control what I can control. That's what I would tell my young self. Control what you can control.
That was my next question. What would you tell your young self?
And let the Lord handle those things that are out of your control. Yeah. So
it's hard for us to love me. It's hard for a man to, you know what I'm saying? Like men don't. It take them a long time if they figure it out.
Yeah. Well, the stronger the relationship you have with the Lord, that's what helps you love you, because you can't love others if you don't love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The scripture teaches love your neighbor as you love yourself.
And that's what we miss.
So if you don't love yourself,
all we hear is love your neighbor.
Well, quite
just
naturally.
like money is the root of all evil.
Yeah,
that's all we hear.
That's a lie.
It's a lie. For the love of money is the root of all evil.
I mean, you think about it. You couldn't even obey God if you didn't have money. Yeah. Bring you all the tithe into the storehouse.
Yeah.
That takes money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Offerings, that takes money. If your brother needs a coat and you have two, giving one. Well, if you don't have money, you don't have a coat. You know. So leaving inheritance to your children's children, that takes money.
Well, when he went and got the 5 loaves and 2 fish, he bought that. He just go and grab it.
Yeah, somebody bought it.
Somebody bought it.
Yeah,
we'll say that. Yeah. I like that.
So and then the scripture says that it's more blessed to give than it is to receive. Yeah. So if you don't have, how can you give? Yeah. And then therefore, if you don't give, you can't what? Receive. Yeah. So how could money be evil when it's necessary?
I had a young man in my car one day. We rode from Birmingham. We were just talking, and I think the conversation led from Anniston all the way to Conyers, Georgia. Mm-hmm. By the time we got halfway to come, it was on Panola Road. The conversation was about money, and I was just telling a lie about money is the root of all evil. And I had the money sitting right there on my armrest as I'm driving, and so by the time we got to Panola Road, I said, "You see this money I put right here?" He was like, "Yeah." I said, "How could this be the root of all evil? It ain't did nothing. The money just been sitting there. It ain't did nothing to nobody. And it's kind of like what you do with the money."
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a great practical idea. Well, I think one of the things that some people take the scenario where Jesus told the young man, "Hey, listen, go sell all that you have, give it to the poor, and then you can come into my kingdom." Mm-hmm. So people, erroneously take that out of context. Yeah.
Explain that.
What's that?
So people do take it out of context, because they'll say, "Well, he told the man to go sell all he had."
But he didn't finish. If you go sell all you have and you have money and you give to the poor, the scripture says that when you give to the poor, you lend to the Lord, and the Lord pays all his debts.
But if we're not reading past what we see, we read that little part and that's it.
But see, that's a spiritual, personal problem.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's churches all over the place. You know what I mean? So, and internet now, like, to not know the word is not, you're not trying. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah, I was in the barbershop one day. You have everything in the barbershop. I was in the barbershop one day, and Money Rule All You came up, and then it was a passage about, they was having a party, and it said, because money is the answer to all things, right? So there was another preacher in there, Reverend Harry. I don't know if you know Reverend Harry or not. He passed, but he said, "Let me see if I can help y'all with that," because they kept on talking. They was kind of talking about it, and he read it. He said it was having some type of party. He said, and the statement is said basically at that time when they was having a party, they ran out of something, and at that time, money was the answer to all their problems at that time. That don't mean money answers to all problems and money answers to all things, like they were saying. But they didn't understand the scripture. They didn't read past what they were saying. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's true. Contextually, but you can't really operate, especially in our society, without money. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't have money, there are 3 areas that you're going to suffer in, and 2 of them that are major. One is the legal area. if you don't have money, there are a lot of people in jail right now because they could not afford a good attorney, right? And then if you don't have money in education, right, you're gonna suffer because you can't go to the good schools, and then if you don't have money from a medical standpoint, okay, now you don't have insurance, you don't have what you need.
Right.
So for people to say money is not that important, they either never gone to school,
or never had money,
or never been sick, or never been in legal trouble,
or never had money.
Well, I mean, some people who have it, they say that as well because they don't want others to get it. Yeah. So, so I mean, you gotta have it.
I just think about when Solomon had never asked for money, he asked for wisdom. But everything else came behind it. Money, everything he wanted came behind it. So
kind of not so.
Okay, well,
he was already rich.
Yeah.
He was the king.
Yeah.
He was the king when he made that. So he needed wisdom on how to go in and out before the people. He needed wisdom on how to set up the kingdom, how to create and how to delegate. He needed that was more important to him because if you're a king with money but you don't have the wisdom to operate, then somebody else is going to come kill you and take all your people and make y'all slaves. So that was important. I don't think that he was not saying that money wasn't important.
No, I wasn't saying that.
You see what
he asked for wisdom,
right? So but when people say that he just asked for wisdom, the man already was rich. He was the king already. Yeah. What broke king you know?
I know a lot of broke kings.
Yeah. So he didn't ask for a hot dog. I got 10 hot dogs in my hand.
Yeah.
It don't mean I don't like them. Yeah. I ain't asking for them because I don't need them right now.
Right now.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I'm not, they're in the preachers, ministers, and things like that. I'm not trying to get into, the exegetical, exercises and things of that nature. But what I'm saying is that the idea that God takes some kind of a way, he takes glory in you being broke. He loves you more because you're broke. No. In Matthew chapter 25, there's a parable where he gave one guy a sum of money, gave another guy a sum of money, and gave another guy. One guy buried the money. Another guy doubled it, and the other guy doubled it, right? And the guy who buried the money, Jesus was upset with him, so upset with him that he called him wicked, told him that he at least should have put it in the bank so he could draw interest, and then he banished him away, he called him wicked. So if money is so evil, why is it that when Jesus needed to pay his taxes, he didn't say, he said, listen, go down to the water, get a fish. There's going to be some money in there. That's what you use to pay the taxes. And how many people owe taxes who don't make money? Hello. Yeah. So Jesus went broke. You know what I'm saying? The Bible said that when he went to sleep downstairs. He wasn't on a paddle boat.
Yeah.
How many pillows you seen on a paddle boat and how many downstairs a paddle boat have?
Right.
Canoe. You know what I mean? So it's just a lot of miseducation. Carter G. Woodson wrote a book, The Miseducation of the Negro. Yeah. And boy, I tell you the truth, it's in a lot of different areas. But you know what? People like yourself and myself, what you're doing and what I'm doing is giving of ourselves, sacrificing of ourselves, doing stuff that we don't have to do to help people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what godliness looks like. By this shall all men know that you are my disciples. How? That you have love one for another. How can you love me? You got to express that and show me. And if you know something I don't know, and what you know can help me, and you don't teach me, you don't love me. Yeah.
Man, I see this. So this weekend is this weekend, right?
Yeah, Sunday.
So what program do you have going on this weekend?
So I have a school. So when I stopped teaching school, years ago, and I started doing lectures in college and things of that nature, I created my own school.
Okay.
And there are a lot of people who wanted to learn how to do this, and a lot of people, even helped me do it. And some of those people have gone on to bigger and better things now. I think about a lot of people, who in the beginning, but I started off teaching one person, it turned to two, turned to three, turned to 4. Mm-hmm. Now I'm teaching people all over the world: Czech Republic, Russia, Canada, Africa, all over the United States, Hawaii, Japan, So I have an online school where I teach people how to do this, and the approach is a little bit different because it's pedagogical in nature. So in other words, we move through Bloom's taxonomy and move down to the application phase, where most people in the trading world, they'll teach you something, they'll give you some videos, but we have a synchronous learning environment where I actually have 5 teachers, like real human beings that you talk to every day, and go through the program and the curriculum. So I'm just doing an open house, and we do that once a month, where we do an open house and tell people about our school, how it works. You hear testimonials from students that are part of it and things of that nature. And so that's what that event is going to be, Sunday at 4 o'clock, from 4 to 6 o'clock at Guiding Light. This is not an event that's sanctioned, sponsored, or held by Guiding Light. They were just kind enough and nice enough to
allow you a space.
Yeah, to allow us to use the space. So, but that's where it would be at Guiding Light.
So I see you doing a live demonstration.
Mm-hmm. So we demonstrate what actually happens in the trade room. So if you were a trader, you were in the trade room, we turn it on and we say, hey, listen, we talk it through. Hey, listen, here's a character change. Here's the area of liquidity. The trader's about to set up. Here's the forecast. We know where the trade is going. We know where it's supposed to go. It's almost time to get in there. Boom, we're in there now. I'm taking this. I got this position. I got one contract. Here's where my stop loss. Here's target 1. Here's target 2. And this is how I manage it. And literally, we walk them through the trade. So it's not something that you learn on your own and then have to apply on your own. No, every single day we walk with you. It's a hands-on approach, because this is very, very important for us and our people, if you will. So that's how we do it.
And that's going to be Sunday, April 21st, from 4 to 6 at Guiding Light.
At Guiding Light.
And if you don't know where Guiding Light is, it's 1800 John Rogers Drive, Birmingham, Alabama 35210. And the name of the university is Solomon Trading University. Very, very professional people. I went to an event and I was impressed with the testimonials from the students. What do you call students? From the students, and the way I really like the way Cornelius Brown had it all put together. But the thing that impressed me most was his own children believe in his dream. And they are trading as well, right?
Yeah, all of them.
Okay. How many children do you have? How many are trading?
5 that are old enough to do that.
Really? Oh man. I think I saw 3 at the time.
No, you saw 5.
Oh, I only saw 3.
Yeah, 3 of them are grown.
Okay, so those are the ones I saw. Okay. Yeah, well that was amazing. I thought it was real nice. I had another event, so I had to kind of leave. But from what I saw, it was very, very nice and very well put together. So, if you're thinking about trading, it's day trading.
Yeah, it's day trading.
Okay, if you're thinking about trading, I really would suggest Solomon Trading University. I don't think you will be displeased. I think you will be very pleased, very professional. And they go live and they did live trades there. So where do you want to see your university go? How high? Because I know you're doing it all over the world, but I just want to know, how high do you see it going?
University of Phoenix. They have 87,000 students.
University of Phoenix?
And worldwide.
Yeah.
And it's all online. Yeah. And so the more students, you just have to have more teachers and more instructors.
Right.
So my job, my assignment is to bridge the gap between poverty and prosperity in the kingdom.
To bridge the gap between poverty and prosperity in the kingdom.
In the kingdom.
That's good.
Yeah. So
how do you plan on doing that?
Well, to partner with churches.
Okay.
To partner with churches, and I do Word and Wealth conferences. So I'll go to a church, they invite me, and I'll do a conference. I wrote a book called The Blessing Connection. I see you have my book there.
This
book.
is the book right here. This book stays up here at all time.
But I wrote another one too called The Blessing Connection.
Okay.
And in that book, I'm talking about how you get connected to money through the Word.
Okay.
You know, because one of the things that happens is that area is an area that the enemy really works hard in, right? And that's why it's hard to control it. That's why it's hard. It's so emotional, and people make emotional decisions with their money because the enemy doesn't want you to have it.
That's right.
Because if you have money, then you can be a blessing. Like he told Abraham in Genesis 12:1-4, I'm going to bless you so that you can be a blessing. Galatians 3:29 says, if you be Christ, then you are Abraham's seed and you are heir according to the promise. So that means we're supposed to have it. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, I am God who gives you the power to get wealth. So to establish my covenant. But if wealth was so bad, God would not be promoting it like that. And so I wrote a book to combat and to debunk all of the myths concerning wealth and the kingdom of God and children of God.
So the name of this book is Money Market Autopsy. And you can get this on
Amazon.com. You can
Amazon.
You come to this seminar.
When you see Money Market Autopsy, that's examining the market, right?
Yeah, well, an autopsy is a post-mortem examination to find out the demise, what caused the demise of a person, right? Like, why did they die?
All right.
And the way they do that is they crack your chest open. They do what is called a Y incision. And they go get your major organs and they find out and figure out how you died. So I do a Y incision, not the letter Y, but the word Y, W-H-Y. Like, why do I use this chart? Why do I use this time frame? Why do I use so? So I go in there and I break down, because I kill the market. Me and my students, we kill the market every day. Right. So we don't want you to just see that market laying down, bleeding out. We want you to know exactly, this is how I killed that joker. And that's kind of what that book is about.
It's not too thin, so you won't get bored. It's not too thick, so you won't get bored. But Money Market Autopsy, find this book on Amazon.
Yeah.
And the other book is, say it again?
The Blessing Connection.
The Blessing Connection.
Because many people get blessings and blessing mixed up. So the blessing of the Lord will make you rich. That's his empowerment on you intellectually, spiritually, physically, right? That's his empowerment and his ability, right, on you to cause you to be able to get blessings, right, which are things, right? So that's what I'm playing between those two words, the blessing and blessings. So many people, when they hear blessing, they think automatically things.
That's right.
But that's not what, when Genesis 1:26-28, he says he blessed Adam and Eve, meaning he gave them the ability to get things. So the blessing is not a thing, but the blessing gets things to you.
Man, I'm excited, and I'm sure some other people are excited about, your event on Sunday. You need us to bring anything?
No. And that morning I actually be preaching that morning, and then we'll come over there. So we'll do the word and then the wealth at night. So
so you got the word and you got the wealth.
I got the message and the method. See, a lot of people talk about the message. Man, God wants you to be rich. He wants you to be rich. It's the will of God. It's your season, and that's great. And it may be your season, but guess what? How are you going to get it?
You got to have a method.
You got to have a method. Yeah. And you have to have a method that doesn't involve everybody doing right.
Yeah.
So, like when you do a business, like you're a solopreneur, entrepreneur though, but in most businesses, you need everybody to do right. So I own a trucking company, I own a painting company, so I need the painters to show up on time. I need the paint man to have the paint ready. I need the truck to be moving. I need the mechanic fixing that. You see what I'm saying? So you got to have so many moving parts. But with trading, it's just you and your computer, get down and go to work.
Man, a lot of people feel like all they can do is work. But you showing people a easier way, not really an easy way, but you showing them a better way to handle their finances and showing them a way out.
Well, what I'm actually showing them, so because most people don't know economics, remember the football example?
That's right.
If you don't know the rules of football, you can't excel at it, right?
Yeah.
And when a part of knowing the rules rules of football is knowing the positions, right? You got center guards, tackles, ends, and backs and quarterbacks, right? You know the position. So if I ask you, what position do you play? You say, I play running back. What position do you play? I play wide receiver. Well, in the economic game, if I ask you what position you play, most people don't know. So one position is the W-2 wage earner. Mm-hmm. He makes money with his feet and makes money with his hands. Another position is the manager. Mm-hmm. Now he makes money, or she makes money by having the ability to get people together and galvanize them. They give you a different color shirt, and sometimes they might let you dress up because you're the manager. Mm-hmm. And then they take you and put you on a salary. And then now that's your position. But then you have another position. You have the position of a communicator. Mm-hmm. So you have speakers and things of that nature. Then you have people who do what? Entrepreneurs. They have their own businesses. Then you have people like myself and like I'm teaching you. The highest position in the economic game is to be a liquidity provider. A liquidity provider is a person who gives money so that companies can have the ability to do their allocation and their distribution, right? If companies don't have, I don't care how good the John Deere tractor is, if they don't have money to make the tractor, you'll never know it. So when you provide liquidity to companies, then you make money, and you make the most money because you get yours off the top. Man. So most people don't even know the positions in the economic game. Like, what position you play? I don't know. I'm just out here.
Yeah, that's because that means they have good coaching, right?
That it hadn't been taught. Yeah. Now, to all of my colleagues, the economics professors and teachers and things of that nature, the federal government creates the course of study across the board, right? And so it's not really anybody's fault. They don't give enough time. Think about this. You take 4 years of history, 4 years of science, 4 years of English, 4 years of math, and only one semester of economics and one semester of government, and they wonder why the kids breaking the law. They don't know it. And we wonder why we don't have money. We don't understand it. Right? So somebody has to take upon that role responsibility, and that's what me and my family and my team, that's what we have done.
Man, I want to say you know, congratulations, number one, on having your family together doing this business and supporting the Solomon Trading University. I also want to say thank you for coming back.
Oh, man.
We really appreciate you. Of course, we love repeat.
I can't wait till we get that Q&A because I imagine those who are listening, they might have some questions. You know,
that's going to be a good part of the Q&A.
Yeah.
I got to give a shout out along with a shout out as you did earlier. So we want to shout out Pastor Thomas Beavers. He's doing a great job in the community. He's doing a great job with his church. Shout out to New Rising Star. And they call it the Star over in Hillcrest area, right?
Yeah, for Port Madrid, 7400 London Avenue.
That's what it is again?
7400 London Avenue.
7400 London Avenue.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Star.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to Pastor Beavers, man. We really appreciate you. And shout out to all the pastors that's doing hard work and
it's
a lot of them, man. You know, I saw one today, Hawaski Moore, and you know he was like, "Man, you did such a good job." You know, we did something with the Reverend Sparks. He did a lock-in, and Reverend Sparks put me out there. I had to speak. You know, like yeah. So, but he said, "Man, you did a great job," and I really appreciate that. So shout out to all the pastors that's doing some good things in the community. Keep your head up, keep pushing, keep praying, and we'll pray for you too. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Green Acres Chicken Downtown, Green Acres Chicken Ensley, Yo Chef Surf and Turf. I want to give a shout out to Partners Tires. And go to Partners Tires, and I'm going to say it again. Fellas, don't slide in these girl DMs on them bald head tires. Get some tires on your car. Go to Partners Tires. If you're hungry, we got Green Acres, and we got Yo Chef Surf and Turf. We got Blaze Hookah Lounge, Shout out to them. That's one of our sponsors. So, as always, I really, really appreciate you for liking and sharing, for turning it up. We had Miss Tina Hutchinson the other day, and she did a wonderful job. Shout out to her and all the accolades that she's getting. And we got some more stuff coming for her. Go to the start on and laugh. We had JR on here the other day, and he has a lot of stuff coming for us. We got some comedians coming, so we really appreciate everybody that's been on the podcast, and we really appreciate you for liking and sharing. Man, I want to appreciate you for trying to help this city get their finances together. We got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, man, but it's just like everything. Every generation gets better.
That's right. That's right.
My mother's parents, didn't go to college. Then she went to college, and then I went to. So we have to build. Where we are in terms of this country. It hadn't been long before since we had rights to do things. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not anybody's fault that they don't know this. Like, how can you know it? Like, I had to get outside of the curriculum to learn it. You see what I'm saying? So I went down and pulled out all kind of books and learned it, and then when you try to help children, then people help you. So I tapped into some people who kind of poured into me and mentored me, and that's how I learned it, because I was trying to help children, and then eventually it became an adult thing. So,
I know a lot of school teachers, and a lot of school teachers on my live or on my my friends, right? So, with that being said, school teachers, look Cornelius Wilson Brown III up. Contact him, and let's get this finances in the schools. Let's get these children understanding finances. Y'all do good, huh?
Oh man,
that was not a paid shout out either. That's real.
But I mean, teachers can make more during the 2 months that they're off doing this than they make all year. Yeah. Like easily.
Yeah.
So we got funding companies now. So now when you learn how to trade, you don't even trade your own money. Yeah. Someone gives you money to trade, and you keep 90% of the money that you make. Yeah. And that's what I talk about and trying to break that whole system down. So no, you don't have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to trade. Yeah.
So shout out to Solomon Trading University for coming back. We're going to have them back again and again and again and again until you get it. So as always, I thank you. Drink water. Stay refreshed. It's getting hot out here. So keep the water. Because I don't drink. He don't drink. We just drinking some water. And a nice, cool. I don't drink drinks anymore either. So. But man, I thank you, man, for coming back.
No, thank you for
that. Appreciate it.